Hi guys, this is Vishal here from Rapcode. So in this video, we will understand how to use environment variables in external APIs, or like how to use variables in external APIs so that you have some use case where you want to hard code something at a separate level rather than putting in an API, right? So let's say there's some configuration or maybe let's say a token. You don't want to hard code it in the API and you want to put it as central place so that you can reuse it across different APIs, right? So we'll see how that can be used and how environment variable works in that case. So I have a project which have a collection called product, and we have an external API where we are making a call to Airtable and creating the same product there, right? So this is the configuration of API on Airtable, and which is authorization token and then some parameters. So whenever we create a product here, the same product gets created on Airtable. So this is how my Airtable looks like. So this is the product which is name, manufacturing date, and this is the API of that particular table. So what we are doing, we are creating a record in Trapcode, and it is making an API call to Airtable to create the same record. So let's just go and create a dummy product. Okay, let's say PR1, some manufacturing date, so percentage. Okay, so it creates the record in Trapcode collection and then makes an API call to Airtable to create a similar product in Airtable. So if I go to Airtable, the PR1 should be here. So PR1 is here, right? Now let's say I don't want to hard code these things, right? Let's say the product is hard coded. This is all hard coded. This is also hard coded in API. Let's say I want to have this a token coming from a central place. So if I make 20 different calls to API, all of them can use the same token. And at the same time, if I want to change it at any point of time, I should be able to just change it at one place and the change should get reflected everywhere. Right. There are other ways to get these token from logged in user and all those things, but those are all outside of the scope of this video. So here we'll see how to control these variables from a central place, which we call environment variables. Okay. So I'll go to my setting, go to app settings. Okay. So here you see environment variables. So by default, Trapcode supports two environments, which is preview and publish. Preview is when you are building your application, testing it, dummy data, and all those things. And once you publish those changes goes live for your end user. And apart from that, you can have two more environments, which we call alpha and beta, like more like a sandbox or pre-prod, where you test with dummy data. All the environments are separate database. So if you are creating dummy data, creating anything, it should not reflect for your end user. It only goes to for your end user only when you publish it to the production environment, right? So by default, you see two tabs, which is production preview. If you have more environments, alpha, beta, then you will see more tabs. Now let's go and create some environment variable. Let's say Airtable access token. Okay. Good. I think it does not allow spaces, so we have to keep it like this. Airtable access token. Now value. So what I'll do, I'll just go and copy my Airtable access token value. So I've already copied it somewhere, and this is the value, right? And here it is saying, do you want to use the same token across everywhere? For now, I'll just say select, but I can always change it if needed, and I'll say create. So it has created an environment variable for me, which is Airtable access token. For preview production, it is same. Let's say you want to use different token for preview environment and different token for production. You can just go and edit it for that particular environment, and this will get changed only for that environment. Now, instead of passing the hard-coded token in my external API, I can just pass it from this token, right? So let's go to external API. Let's go here. So previously this token was hard coded. I'll just remove it. I'll click plus. I'll go to my environment variables and I can see this Airtable access token which we created there, right? Sometime it may not appear, so we just reload the page and it will come here. So I'll just click add. So here now it is coming as a variable, which is environment variable dot Airtable access token. So now I'm not passing my token directly here, and I'm passing it as a variable, and the variable is coming from that environment variables. Okay, and I'll just save the settings. Okay, if I go and edit it, it should be variable. Now let's go and run the API again. Now I'll create another product, and this time the access token is coming from my environment variable. So let's say PR2, some date, some percentage, submit, right? So the product got created on Airtable. So if I go to Airtable, PR2 is here, right? So this way I am able to pass my access token from an environment variable, and I don't have to basically hard code it in the APIs. Now let's go if I change something, right? So let's go to preview and change something, and I change it to something else, okay, which is a dummy token, okay? So let's say we have added one here, right? Say update. Now I have messed up my token, so my API should not work. I have not done anything to the API. I've just changed my token. Okay. Now I'll reload the page. PR3, some percentage, submit. Now there's an error from API which is saying authentication required, because now the token is invalid. So when it is going to make an API call on Airtable, the Airtable is saying that this token is not valid. It is asking for authentication required. If I go to Airtable, PR3 is not here. Right now, if I go to my environment variable again and just fix it, okay, basically correct it. And now if I go and create another product, it should work. So this will show us that the access token is getting controlled from a central place. Let's say PR4, some date, some percentage, submit. Okay, created on your table. So PR4 is here. So this is one use case of environment variable where you want to control couple of things from a central place rather than hard code it in the API. Let's see another example. So let's say I have two Airtable, and what I want to do, I want to say whenever my testing team is testing or previewing the application, create the record here, which is my product table. But when my actual users are using in the live environment, create the product here, which is product underscore prod. Now let's see how this can be handled, right? So I want to keep my test data separate and my production data separate. Okay, test to development data. So what I'll do, I'll create one more environment variable. First, let's go to the external API. So this is how our external API looks like. And probably I want to change this URL completely. Okay, I can either change this particular section or I can change the whole URL. So it's completely up to us. Okay, so I'll just pick it completely and I'll say Airtable product URL. Okay, and value I can give this one, and I just copy. So this is a new environment variable got created which has same value. Now let's change the value for production environment. So I am saying when it is my preview environment, create record, this is the URL which is product. Like this is already here. This is here. Okay, now I'm saying when it is my actual user end user, I want to change my table and the data should go in product underscore prod, right? So I just copy this. The access token can be same or can be different depending on the environment. So I'll go to my production and edit this and change it to product underscore prod, okay, and update. So now what is happening when I'm testing in preview, the value will go to product table, but when it is production, it will go to product underscore prod, right? So this is my preview and this is my production. So let's go to the external API. I'll reload the page because we've created an environment in different types, so it will not get reflected automatically. So else I don't need it from here, hard coded, and I want to bring it from my environment variable. So here you see Airtable product URL. So I just add it, and this is here, and this is also variable. We have already created it, and I'll say save. So now my external API URL is also coming from environment variable, and access token is also coming from environment. So now I'll preview the application. So this is preview. So when I create a product here, it should get created in preview. So I'll just give the name to my product, preview product. Numbers, submit. So this will send the data to my product table. Okay, so I go to your table. This is my product table, which is now let's open the application, the publish mode or the live mode. So I'll say publish. First, I'll have to publish the changes because I've done so many changes. And let's open the application. So this is my actual application, live application for the production user, right? So I'll say production product, some date, some percentage, let's say 32, submit. So this should go in the other table of your table which we have created. It is created on your table. Now let's go here. So you see in the old table, it is not there, which is connected to my preview environment. But if I go to production table, the product is here. So this way you can actually control that in which environment, which API to call and where to send to data. So this way you can segregate your data from dummy data to like actual production data. And at the same time, you can control all these variables, whatever you are sending an external API, you can actually control it from environment variables so that you don't have to hard code anything in the REST APIs. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you again in the next video. Bye bye.